Thank you all for joining the webinar this afternoon. I just want to let's talk about who else is joining me from the West Pacific headquarters today. And Angelo Cuomo, and I know that you all have met, if you haven't met Angelo already, that you've talked to him, that you've emailed him, you've probably talked about insurance and all the other good things. Well, Angelo is our chief engineer for today's webinar. Also on the line is Danielle, and Danielle Crawford is the administrative assistant in headquarters. And Danielle, she's going to be participating with us on a regular basis, just so that if there are any questions that come up and I need to respond to any and everyone, that she can kind of keep up with the notes for myself and for Yvette. You know, Yvette is taking some time off after she spent about 7 days in Salt Lake City, Utah for the convention. I think she needed a little bit of time off, so she's enjoying some holiday with her family and friends in the States, and you all know that Yvette will be joining us. She'll be back with us mid-November, just in time for Thanksgiving. On that note, let's go ahead and get started. Next slide, Angela. The next slide is our control panel that I may ask questions, and you will have an opportunity to raise your hand. Or if you have questions and we can't hear you, that you will have a chance to enter your question right there in the, write your question right there in the box. So on that note, let's go ahead and go to the next slide. I wanted to give you this slide, Journey to Japan Destinations Overview, that at the National Convention in Salt Lake City, that I was asked to present our destinations that was held last summer, and it was in July. That because it was just so extraordinary, so very different from the other destinations that you may have seen or heard about. GSUSA, Girl Scouts of the USA, that they felt that ours deserved special attention. Well, because number one, that the girls that participated were able to earn the International Friendship Pin and the Summit Award. You know that the International Friendship Pin can only be earned overseas, and it was just amazing. We had not 16 girls, but 17 girls, 14 to 18 from the United States. There was one girl, and she corrected me, that she was 13, just about to turn 14, so she wanted to be sure that it was like, no, you have to correct that. She was one of the girls that presented. There were 3 girls that joined us for a Journey to Japan that were also in Salt Lake City as delegates for their council, or they participated in the Girl Scout Leadership Institute, and they presented with me. And you're not going to get the whole presentation, but you know what? I think I may put it on the website so that you will have a chance to see that and just to experience more in terms of how the girls earn their International Friendship Pin and the Summit Award. You know, the girls that went back to the States with the International Friendship Pin, they are rock stars because, again, that everyone's heard about it, but it can only be earned overseas. Let me go back to just some of the demographics on that. That we had 4 adults for the entire destination. 4 adults for the entire destination. 9 adults for the Mount Fuji portion of the climb. Now, we had 6 adults that were also greeters that met the girls at the airport and also took them back to the airport. And the 9 in the Fuji climb includes Arwen, who was just remarkable in terms of putting this together, and then myself as we climbed Fuji. The highlights of the destination: Girl Scouts, they were on the move. You know, they spent days at the National Youth Olympic Center, and that was kind of their headquarters. Then they spent a night with a Japanese family. Then they moved on to Marine Camp Base Fuji, which was the base camp for the climb. That we spent the night at Fujisan Hotel, which is a mountain hut. Don't let hotel fool you. Haha, it is truly a mountain hut. And then we came back to Marine Camp Base Fuji, and then the girls ended at Hardy Barracks. Now, between at the National Youth Olympic Center and then Hardy Barracks and the homestay, let me tell you, it was jam-packed with activities. One is that they had the opportunity to participate in a Japanese festival, and they donned, of course, their summer kimonos. That they also had an opportunity to learn and participate in a tea ceremony, and then they had a chance to do some touring around. Now, you know, Tokyo is the anime capital of the world, and that's what made this so significant to GSUSA, because they had a chance to get a full-out view of how anime is produced here. And then, so focusing, and I'd mentioned they earned the Summit Award and the International Friendship Pin. Why I wanted to talk about this is because Destinations 2015 is coming up, and that there at the very end of the presentation in the slides today, that you will see that that you will have an opportunity to see that there is a webinar coming up, but you should be receiving newsletters from Girl Scouts, from USAGSO. So USAGSO lists all the destinations is listed in the newsletter and the dates, but please, please look forward to, then here's the website for more information that's showing on your screen, and you will have a chance, you're going to receive these slides, so no worries on that. So go look for destinations that we will not be having one in Japan. Destinations really takes a full 3 years and plan and to prepare for. We did it in less than a year, and we could not have done it without Arwen Turner just, I mean, wearing herself out with meetings, planning, and working with GSUSA. Because, of course, we had to adhere to exceptional safety-wise and safety standards, just with it being overseas, and especially with the Fuji climb on that one. But the destinations for 2015, that they are coming up soon. Next slide, Angela. I just wanted to show the clip from AFN, that AFN filmed the girls climbing the mountain and coming down from the mountain, and this is exceptional. Let me just say that when I presented it at the convention in Salt Lake City, that it was just incredible. Now, it is on YouTube, and we will also be placing it on our website. It's really brief. Okay. I don't know if everyone had a chance to hear the sound or not, but it's on the website, it's been on Facebook, and it is on YouTube, so that you can go ahead and listen to hear some of the comments. But let me just say that it was just a remarkable journey to Japan for the girls in destination. And again, remember to look for the destinations, the upcoming information. Now, I had wanted to put the save the date on this, include the save the date in this webinar. Well, the save the date is that the good news is that there will be a full USA Girl Scouts Overseas conference or event at Edith Macy Conference Center, and where all of USAGSO alumni will be, current volunteers, and it's a coming together. Yes, there will be some workshops and some additional trainings there. Now, the bad news is for this year, we will not be having the traditional adult learning conference that many of you all have experienced in the past. And I guess it's not bad news, but that we're going to be talking, and I will be talking to you about another exciting opportunity. So that if I've doubled back and asked several of you all about dates, I just wanted to be sure that there was not a conflict in some of the dates. So that, you know, most of the summer we recognize that some volunteers are in the States, and if you have not had an opportunity to go to the historic Edith Macy Conference Center, that you can this year to join Girl Scouts alums from overseas, past and current, and it is in New York. And we're going to be sending more information about that as it continues to evolve. Next slide, Angela. This is a shot of in front of the convention center in Utah, and this sign was just absolutely amazing. The girl, and we just happened to catch these. Now, this is not our delegation, but this was an opportunity, and everyone took shots in front of this magical sign out there. There were other opportunities, but this one was the focal point for the convention outside of the center. I asked to include this one definitely because I would like to talk about, while we will not have an adult learning conference this year, what it's in the beginning stage, is to have a girls' summit. The girls would be able to attend the summit from 13 years of age and up, and we will be looking at having the summit in Tokyo, and we're working on the date as we speak, but we know it's going to be in April. Scholarships will be provided for girls to get to the summit in Tokyo. This is a great opportunity, and you'll be hearing more from the girl delegate who attended the Girl Scout Leadership Institute at convention. And we will be looking at having some of the similar programs and projects that the girls actually proposed from the Girl Scout Leadership Institute, and hopefully that we will have a couple of the girls that facilitated several of the workshops to come in to work with our girls at the West Pacific Girls Summit in Tokyo in April of 2015. So look forward to more information about the Girl Scout Leadership Institute Summit in Tokyo, Japan, and it will be hosted by the West Pacific. And remember that girls will have to apply, and scholarships will be available for them to attend. And I hope that some of you all will attend with your daughters or your troops as well. Next slide, Angela. I wanted to double back on the cookie program. There were quite a few questions about when the training was going to be. That was one of the, when the training was coming up, who should participate in the training. And these are your cookie managers, definitely. But any one of you all as OCC, you can attend the cookie webinar training. In December, and then it will be the OC level cookie training. January 10th kicks off our cookie sale for 2015, and 16th, the actual incentive orders will be due. And the 27th is the last day of our cookie program. That the cookie program, again, runs from January 10 to February 27. At that meeting as well for the at the cookie webinar training, that we're also going to be talking about how are you, where are you selling your cookies? When are you going to be meeting with the command to go over the cookie sale? Because certainly that's an opportunity to talk about any of the past issues that you had with the cookie sale, how to promote and where to promote them on through your committee on one of the installations. Next slide. Here is the most current membership report. That when we, so take a look. There are still some goals that are missing, that are not included. At Sugi, if you're on the line, that we need your goals for 2015. We have your, it looks like we have your adult goals, but we don't have the girls. Yokosuka, we need Humphreys. The line is drawn through Daegu. Daegu is inactive this program year. Courtney, we need your girls' goals. And it looks like we have your adults. Okay, take a look at these numbers. Let's not get too far out in front of us with the in keeping up with the membership numbers. Last year we ended, it looks like pretty, last year we ended at 1,355, and that is very low for us, for West Pacific. That's the lowest girl membership that we've ended with in 5 years. So that we have some work to do this year, and again, for Etsugi, Yokosuka, Humphreys, Courtney, send Regina your goals today. We need these. And any place where the adult goals are missing, we need those as well. I'm going to stop right now, and Angelo, open up the line to see if we have any questions.
Hey, this is Yokota, Eric calling. I typed it in just before you opened it up for questions, but I'm not sure where the goal numbers came from that you have on our line. And I was under the impression that you guys gave us the goal versus us giving you the goal. Yvette told us the number a few weeks back. So which is it? Do we pick our goal or do you give us a goal?
Eric, what goal should that be on the document?
Well, I was under the impression that we were aiming for 88. That was the number I was given. I wasn't really sure if that was just girls or girls and adults. I mean, that's a attainable goal, obviously, at this point in time for total. And perhaps we can get girls up to 88 as well. But 150 is out there. I'm not sure where that came from.
Okay. Eric, we'll make a note of this, and you can, and when Yvette returns, that you all can be in touch. Are there any other?
Well, the question still is: are you guys giving us our goal, or are you letting us pick a number?
We do it together. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other questions about membership or any other slides that that I have presented?
Hello?
Yes, hi. Who's this?
This is Janet Lee.
Hi, Janet.
I was wondering, is it a problem if we hold our cookie training in November instead of December, just to give ourselves some more time to work things out?
You mean to do your committee training or the
Correct.
one that we are hosting?
The committee training.
That
Instead of waiting for December.
Mm-hmm. You can do your committee training anytime after the main one. And keep in mind, the cookies are going to be delivered to the 3 warehouses, one in Okinawa, one in Yokota, and then the 3rd one at Camp Walker in South Korea. Those cookies will probably be coming in the 2nd week in December. Angelo, I know you're on the line, and you've been working with AAFES. When are they expecting delivery?
I have, and it looks like the 2nd week or after in December.
The 2nd week,
yeah.
Yes. Because once though, and remember, the process is still going to be the same, that we need to, AAFES expects us to count those cookies, and then once that's done, then they are shipped to the local installations on that one. Great question, Janet Lee. Thank you very much. Great question, Eric, about that. Are there any other questions, whether it's about membership report, anything that's been presented? We will have a chance to talk later on about anything that you have on your mind as we go through this. Now, the other is that the reason why I'm not talking about convention, but I think I'm getting close at this point, is that Quinn Pugvera, our board chair and one of our delegates, she is going to be coming on the line to give you an update from convention. So shortly. So that's why the front end is so loaded, and we are going to keep going. Now, if Quinn does not make it, I'm not going to be doing it. I prefer that she does, and what she will do is just to record it as a part of this webinar, and you can go in and listen to the update, because I just want to be respectful of your time. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Make a note of your questions, and don't hesitate to raise your hand if you have a question, and we can open up the line on that. Eric, I thought that was a great question too, and thank you very much. Next slide.
Hello, Barbara?
Oh, you're there, Quinn. Okay.
Yeah, I've been here for about 15 minutes now. I tried to be message here, but I didn't raise my hand. I guess maybe that's what I did wrong. But I've been on mute going, okay, I can talk,
wait a minute.
right?
Wait a minute before we go down. That I'm going to keep in the order that it's in. Okay, Angelo, next slide, because I think you are really coming up close. Yeah? Oh my gosh! This is perfect timing. I'm going to introduce this slide, and then Quinn, I want you to take it away. this is our USAGSO delegation at convention. Who is missing from here is the CEO from North Atlantic, Catherine Owen, and somebody else is missing because they had to dash out because we had a number of presentations with USAGSO and not just about Journey to Japan. There are two of us right there in the middle, and that was not intentional. I think they put me there because I am the shortest, and I did not have on any heels that day. But standing next to me is the granddaughter of Lord and Lady Baden-Powell. She was the guest at our USAGSO luncheon, and she was the guest for our USAGSO delegation. And it was just an exciting time hearing stories about her grandparents, as of course her grandfather started the Boy Scouts, and her grandmother was very dear friends with our founder, Juliet Gordon Lowe, and that's how the conversation got started. And Juliet Gordon Lowe returned to Savannah, and she had a great thing for the girls in Savannah. Now, you can see Yvette's there, and then you can see Quinn, and she is third from first row, third from the right. And then behind her is our girl delegate, Langley Sonnenberg. And then to the far left is our chief USAGSO executive, Stephanie Ortiz-Sidlick. And I know many of you all have seen her name and heard her name, but that's what she looks like. And so that we had delegates from Quinn, Germany, and I'm going to make a horrible
France,
mistake.
Italy, Hong Kong.
That's it. Yes. So that, and again, next year, next cycle, that we hope that you will apply. It doesn't matter where you live and where you are, whether you're with the council in the States or here overseas with one of our locations. Consider applying to serve as a delegate, and make sure your daughter applies to be a delegate or to attend the Girl Scout Leadership Institute. On that note, Angelo, next slide, and I think that's Quinn's. And it is.
Okay,
Quinn,
well, hello, everyone.
take it away.
Thank you, Barbara. I just want to give you guys a brief peek into my convention experience. And we went over this with the volunteers when we were luckily down in Okinawa this past weekend. We had a town hall, and it was pretty well received, so I hear. And so we wanted to share this with everyone. I'm going to keep this quite brief. I want to be respectful of your time, and I got a meeting to get to at 1, so don't worry. I will try not to be too long-winded here. The few points that I want to make would be that so convention, I don't know how familiar everyone is, but it's the convention and national council session. So a delegate, as a job, we go and vote on proposals that have been decided upon ahead of time and published and explored and then debated within these 3.5-hour national council sessions. For this, and this happens every 3 years, for this year they had 3 proposals on the table and 1 discussion. So I'm going to go a little out of the order of the slide. Bear with me. I just wanted to go over which proposals we had talked about, debated on, voted on, and what the outcomes were there. So the very first one was most of these proposals are either to amend the Constitution or bylaws, so just to give you that. The first proposal was to amend the Constitution to allow for more flexibility to the membership structure. That was proposed that the language dictating membership as either annual or lifetime be struck and replaced with the wording applicable membership, thus to open up any kind of membership structures. Through the debate, it led to an amendment to the amendment, which was to maintain in the wording annual and lifetime membership so that they continue to be explicitly stated, however, also add other applicable membership to allow for flexibility as well. So upon the vote, that was what was voted in, and that amendment proposal passed as such. The second proposal was to alter the reporting structure of GSUSA. So the chief financial officer would no longer report directly to the national board, but rather to the CEO. And as I understand it, this is just something that's been in our structure kind of traditionally as a legacy, but isn't in line with best practices today within nonprofits. All the chiefs underneath the CEO normally report to the CEO, whereas our chief financial officer still reported to the national board. And this proposal passed with limited discussion and debate. It wasn't too much of a hot topic. Now the final proposal pertained to the role of past board presidents. As it had been written, all past presidents remained ex officio members of the national board without voting rights. The proposal was to remove this from the Constitution. This was a topic of considerable debate, and in the end, the delegates of the National Council voted to remove this role from past presidents. I do kind of want to touch on this because it was really, this was one of my inspirational moments in convention, was just to see the girls get up and stand in front of 1,200 people and speak their mind, and some were prepared and some really just talked from the heart. But these young women were just so impressive and concerned about our tradition and our respect for these past presidents, and that was really heartwarming. Of course, the current, or the outgoing president of the National Board stated that she would be leaving the board in entirety and to let them go respectfully rather than keeping them on the roster of board members forever, essentially. One key point that was brought up, I think, that was a strong consideration for people, was that in keeping these individuals on the board indefinitely, that was yet another person that was being the organization had to fund to attend board meetings 3 times a year, year after year, but not a voting member. So that, I think, was something that played into to the discussion and into people's votes as well. So those were the 3 proposals. National Council session, voting sessions ended, and then we began a discussion. The final point of interest of the national session was a discussion of outdoor experience. GSUSA and the delegation were in pretty much unanimous agreement that outdoor experiences are critical to Girl Scouting, but there was a lot of discussion regarding the best way to meet this demand. The initiative to strengthen the role of the outdoors in the Girl Scout experience is underway, and we will see a rollout of new outdoor programming with the coming year and beyond. So the debates included, well, do you want badges? Should there be a journey? Really what came out of this was a strong focus on a need for additional training and better training for our better training structure even for our volunteers, and the need for girl stand up from the council that's in New York and says, well, you know, I'm from this urban council and we're scared to go outside. You know, we're scared to go out in nature. We're not comfortable with that. So, you know, incremental initiatives was also something that was brought to the table, as well as the real call from the seniors, the ambassadors that were there as delegates, to get some concentration on outdoor experience for them as well, because they initially they announced, oh, we're going to have these badges, and the badges are going to be for the lower girls, but there wasn't any badges for older girls. So they really spoke out about how they felt regarding that, having outdoor experience in their program too. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up what we covered in the National Council session. In addition, the new National Board was brought in and introduced and kind of voted upon by default. We didn't actually get to vote them in, but it was the pre-process that if anyone from the floor had someone to recommend instead of these people that have been selected by the Board Development Committee, then that was an option. But so now we have a brand new National Board, brand new National Board Chair, who seemed really dynamic and spoke to us a couple times, and actually came to our overseas delegate reception, which, by the way, this was not a large shindig. We had a reception, a room in one of the hotels that we only had 7 delegates, so we're not a huge entity, we're not a big name, but she came to that and introduced herself and stopped by, and I thought that was really kind of felt like we were on the map, and really nice of her. So I think that the new board is a bunch of phenomenal individuals, primarily women, and really inspirational. Final inspirational thing, and I mean final because it was part of our closing ceremony, was that we got to hear from the National Young Women of Distinction. So this is an award, and there were 10 young women selected. And I believe the selection is based on their gold awards. So they came up and they spoke about what they did for these projects, and it just blew everyone in the audience away. These projects were really essentially the most wide-reaching scope that you could imagine for a young woman to accomplish, and it was just incredible to see them up there and passionate and talking about what they were able to do, and a lot of these things seemed impossible. Just to give you a small taste, and there is information about all of these projects on the website if you want to Google that, but there was one young woman, and she had seen a need at a local community center for picnic tables that were accessible to people in wheelchairs. The design of picnic tables is not wheelchair friendly, and so she actually designed and patented and built a wheelchair accessible picnic table. The reason she patented it was so that she could put the design on the internet so that it would remain free for anyone to use. Another young woman targeted the issue of energy creation in rural villages in Kenya with a device that costs about $10 and is made from recycled methane. This device can create from animal feces methane that can power anything similar to the use of propane. She called her project the power of poo, and implementing this invention in Kenya contributed to an effort to slow deforestation, to address multiple issues over quality of life and hardships. And then a third young lady, originally from a small village in South Africa, wanted to address the needs for women there who were at risk of bleeding out during childbirth because of lack of medical facilities. She actually managed to get a maternity ward built onto a local clinic. So just these 3 examples out of the 10 were enough to kind of blow anyone over, and it was really inspirational to see the youth of today and the incredible job Girl Scouts has done to mold these individuals to become change makers. You know, we talk about making girls that change the world, and these girls really are changing the world. So I took that away from convention, totally amped up, really excited, and along with the other 6,000 attendees. And how am I doing on time here? Okay, I'm almost out of time. So let me just double back to a few other things that I wanted to talk about, which is the state of our movement and some initiatives that were kind of unveiled at convention. So I got to listen to some really eye-opening presentations over the week, and they went through the data, essentially explaining that why Girl Scouts is needed. You know, 4 out of 10 youth in America are not thriving. You know, and we know from our hard, quantifiable data that Girl Scouts improves the lives of girls. You know, girls who do Girl Scouts do better in school. They are more confident. They are more likely to step into leadership positions. However, in the last 10 years or so, a little over, GSUSA as a whole has lost 1 million members. So to stay on this current path, you know, membership drop is foreseeable. So we don't want that. We want to see growth. We want to see girls benefiting from this program and are making a lot of changes to Girl Scouting to make that happen. And when I say changes, I really don't feel like we're departing from the mission or from tradition, but really just making improvements. So a couple things that they're looking to address. So the biggest reason why girls leave Girl Scouting is because they don't have consistent, high-quality, relevant experiences, which happens through inconsistent volunteer delivery of the program. What GSUSA is doing with their strategic investments is investing in a number of initiatives, but the ones that I'm going to talk about are the technology pieces. So there are digital cookies, which is a rollout of a platform to essentially sell cookies online. And I heard this and I'm like, well, why would I buy cookies online? And this is the whole point, is I'm buying from Girl Scouts. There's a girl there. She's selling it. But girls will actually have their own web page. So they manage essentially online sales of their cookies. And this is called Digital Cookie. And I got to see a demo of it in the Hall of Experiences and was really impressed. Now, from an overseas perspective, the reason why this is really exciting is that the cookies can be delivered 2 different ways. You can order from a specific girl online and the girl delivers the cookies, or you can order from a specific girl online and they're shipped out of Detroit, I believe. Well, I don't know about you, but I have got so many friends here that are stationed overseas, but all of their family is back home. Of course, grandma and aunts and uncles and cousins, they all want to buy cookies from their girl, but she's living overseas and that's really inconvenient. With digital cookies, they'll be able to do that. So I thought that was a pretty cool feature for us from the overseas perspective. Additionally, they are rolling out a volunteer toolkit that they also gave a tutorial on, and this essentially includes a pretty filled out curriculum, if you will, or syllabus of possible meetings that you can lead, and it's broken down. Of course, there's different activities for a brownie troop than there would be for a junior troop, and you can move activities, you can schedule things, you can rearrange things. Every activity that's preloaded in there, you can get a shopping list. There's a link to look at the shopping list that you need for those things. So it seems really robust, and the idea there is to put so much electronic to make it easy. You're not having to reinvent the wheel every time you want to do anything, because the GSUSA volunteer model is based on the assumption that someone's going to be a volunteer for 6 years, and on average volunteers only stay with Girl Scouts for about 2. So there's a huge disconnect there, and what they heard when they did surveys was it's just not easy enough. So they're making this volunteer toolkit. They're also going to roll out a new web platform, customer engagement system. So technologically, what I saw, it was really, really positive and really a step in the right direction to making technology work for the movement, and not relying so much on just the old way of doing things, because obviously we need to adapt. So that's about all I have, and I think I'm about out of time as well. So Barbara, I'll turn it back over to you. Are there any questions?
Any questions, any comments? Quinn,
Yes.
how can I become a delegate?
That is a fantastic question, Barbara. Well, when I became a delegate, on the West Pacific website, there was a call for delegates. And I believe it was up there for a number of months. And it was just a one-sheet form, my name, my position, my association with Girl Scouts, and a brief paragraph on why I wanted to be a delegate for USAGSO. So super simple, sent it in electronically, and a couple months later I heard that I was selected. And I'm pretty sure that this process was just as simple for all the rest of the delegates, whether it be from New York served to someone over in North Atlantic. USAGSO gets 7 delegates and 1 alternate, and then they fund your trip, and you get to push your button to vote on really important issues.
So, Quinn, you mean to tell me that Girl Scouts of the USA provided you with the airfare, food, and everything? All expenses were paid?
All expenses were paid, yes. I didn't even book my own airfare. That was done out of the New York office. Those arrangements were made. The hotel was made for me. I didn't do it. And for any meals that were not provided, I can submit receipts for reimbursement.
Okay. I think that it's very important. I know it's very important that certainly that on Friday night here in Okinawa, we did kind of a survey in terms of how long people had been involved in Girl Scouting and in the as a part of that whole Girl Scout movement. And at convention, that the delegates have an opportunity to voice their opinions about the direction of the movement, as well as any other issue that, but other issues come, of course, months in advance of convention. So please, I hope everyone would consider becoming a delegate the next cycle, and the next national convention and national council session is 2017, and it's going to be in Columbus, Ohio. Okay.
Exactly. I'm glad you thought to mention that, Barbara. I was gonna, as soon as you started talking, I thought about that. They gave us a clip on all that there is to see and do in Columbus, Ohio. They gave us the dates, which I imagine will be widely distributed everywhere. And I think it might be even on this slide. No, not on this slide.
No, it's not.
But it's going to be in October again. But we already have the specific dates for the 2017 National Convention and National Council session. So we can get it on the calendars now and plan on applying to be a delegate.
Okay. Thank you so much, Quinn, for joining us this afternoon. And you can feel free to stay on the line. I know that you have other meetings, because we have only about 7 minutes, and there are just a couple of other items that I will be talking about. Next slide. Thank you, Angelo. That we wanted to provide you with the what's going on at the shop for the month of October, and certainly that you can see that the troop year is really full swing. And don't hesitate to contact the shop, place your order for any needs that you may have for your girls and or for yourself. Also, just recognizing Juliette Gordon-Lowe's birthday is on October 31st. Happy birthday, founder, to our founder. And the patches, the associated patches, and some of the brooch that goes with it, and things like that. It was really interesting. The brooch has just started selling. We've had that in our store since our 100th anniversary, but now everybody wants that bauble with Juliette Gordon-Lowe. The other two pieces on this slide that I'm going to talk about, and I'll be talking about more in November at our November meeting, and that's the concept called Shop in a Box. Now, we know that our service center here in Okinawa was destroyed, a couple of years ago, and they lost their shop. That many people have been going to GSUSA, and then a huge number of people have just started again shopping at our shop on Camp Zama. Well, Shop in the Box is a concept that if you're having an event in Korea, if you're having an event in Okinawa, what do you want in your box? What would you like sent to you to sell during your event? And that's what's called Shop in a Box on that. So if you can't come into the store on at Camp Zama, that by golly, the store can get that out to you. And then the mobile shop. Many of you all I know at Yokota, Yokosuka, Yokota and Yokosuka had used the mobile shop several years ago. And that concept is that if you're having a large event, 50 people or more, that the shop comes out to your event and has several tables of items to sell. So that we're going to be bringing back the mobile shop, so that we're going to be talking more about that, and Shop in the Box. Also, that it is with sad news that I tell you that Mr. Hingle, he's leaving us. Oh my gosh. And so that we do have a position open, and the store manager position is open on Camp Zama. So that if you have friends or colleagues that they're looking for yet another Girl Scout opportunity, that please, they can send their resumes to the admin, and then the resumes will go into the pool, and they will be contacted for an interview, and we are hoping to wrap up interviews within the next couple of weeks. But in the meantime, the store will remain open, and do not hesitate to shop there. But look forward to more news on the Shop in the Box and the mobile shop concept on that one. Angelo, next slide. Turkey Day, patch of the month, 25% off. Thank you. Next slide. Yay, for girls. This was in front of the Brownie Treehouse at convention, and there was a slide there and everything else that the girls just really, I mean, folks were just taking shots of that. The Brownie Treehouse had a slide. I don't know who had more fun on the slide, the adults or the kids, and after a while they were saying, no adults, this is for the girls to go down. But I thought, we always thought that was a great shot. Next slide. I can't wait. Invite a friend to start a new troop with Girl Scouts and follow the steps. Invite a friend to start the Daisy, Brownie, or Junior troop. Ask your friend to complete a membership and volunteer application. And to get Girl Scouts USA, tell Girl Scouts USA you recruited someone and qualify for fun prizes for you and your friend. Next slide. This slide is just for our upcoming webinars, the Cookie Manager training that I mentioned, USAGSO Destinations. It's an informal webinar that's coming up on November 13th. Learn more about destination, Adult Award Recognition Chair webinar. And then, of course, it's, yeah, you can see how to register on that one. And the final slide is just a, next slide. And it's just a list of our upcoming webinars. That with that slide being up, that I would like to invite you to submit agenda items. What are some of the items that you would like presented or discussed during our monthly webinar? That please, could you just go ahead and submit those to Yvette. And we want to make sure that we meet your needs with this monthly webinar and not just report out things, but we want to hear from you. If there's a discussion item you would like to have on there, that definitely we can reserve time for that. You all are also wondering, it's like, did she say she was in Okinawa? Yes, I am still here in Okinawa. That we had a town hall meeting, which Quinn mentioned, on Friday evening here with with volunteers here on island, and this was their opportunity to receive a much longer report from the convention. We had more slides, and there was a great deal of conversation. So that was the report out, because any delegate that goes to convention, they have a responsibility to come back to our local membership and provide a presentation. Our girl delegate, Langley Sonnenberg, she will be providing her presentation. We're just working out the platform in terms of doing so. Okay, we are at our 1 o'clock, and I'd like to open it up if anyone has any questions. Are there any questions? The mic is open. Oh, and I forgot to tell you that the OCC from Courtney is right here. We're doing this webinar from the Courtney Hut here in Okinawa as I spend time with her. That we are still anticipating hiring a new lead advisor that it can never, no one could ever step in Arwen Turner's shoes, but certainly to provide the reach here in Okinawa and to provide the resources for our volunteers in Okinawa and South Korea. The mic is open. Any questions?
Hi, this is Eric. I have a suggestion, actually.
Eric, I like
The
suggestions.
suggestion is for all the OCCs out there. You can partner with the Red Cross to get discounted CPR, AED, and first aid training. We held a class about 2 weeks ago for 10 leaders to get trained. The average cost for 10 leaders was $24. Normally at the Red Cross office to get CPR, AED, first aid trained would cost $55. So if you have an authorized provider agreement with the Red Cross between the OCC and the Red Cross office at your base, and you have some volunteer instructors, then you can get that much cheaper rate and fill out your first aider requirements as well.
Thank you, Eric. That's great information. And that's Eric from Yokota. Anyone else? Suggestions? Ideas? I know several of the committees are working together on events. Did anyone want to provide an update on an upcoming event?
Does anybody else want to speak besides Eric?
Eric, you have the floor. Take it.
All right. Well, we were approached by the local family advocacy office a few weeks ago to come help do some babysitting. So we had 7 people, 3 girls, 4 adults, do some volunteer service for the base community so that folks can get out there and couples can get back together and recommit to themselves. Just want to spread that out there. There might be opportunities at other bases like that. We've managed to actually get our 5 seniors and ambassador girls together in one room, and they're excited to be able to plan a few events out into the future. And we're also leveraging the Boy Scout Venture Crew because 3 of the 5 girls are part of that, and leveraging some of the expertise on the Boy Scout side to get some activities going, maybe partner with them on with a couple of the activities, of course within the Girl Scout rules and regs. And then giving those girls that are in the venture crew some girls-only time doing some girl activities that they would like to do. We have a Julia Gordon Lowe / Halloween trunk or treat on Saturday this week. 80 Japanese Girl Scouts and adults have signed up to join us, so that we're excited about that. Our next international event will be on the 5th of December, where we're going to do Christmas caroling, hot chocolate, and snacks with Japanese Girl Scouts here on base. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you, Eric. And sounds like you have some great activities on deck on that one. We can take one more update before we close today. Okay. Hearing none, on that note, please, again, don't forget to submit your ideas or suggestions or any item that you would like to see on the monthly agenda. And if there's a conversation you would like to have, then certainly that we would note that, put it on there, and even help you frame it if that's the case. On that note, thank you all for joining us this afternoon, and and please keep those memberships coming to headquarters. I know that several of you all had said that, Barb, it should be higher. It's like, okay, then get them in the mail, or we haven't received them yet, as a matter of fact. So don't hesitate to contact Regina on that, and you all have a wonderful afternoon. Quinn, thank you so much for providing an update from the 2014 Girl Scout Convention and National Council session. And Angelo and Danielle, thank you. Oops, I forgot to tell them. They ran off. Okay. All right. Okay.